I got the carpet out and I'm just looking over the job here. Got my 4-inch Win belt sander. Takes a while, but it'll get her done. It'll do a good job because this is the second room I've done, but this is a bigger room. I'll show you how the other one turned out. This one was in rougher shape because it never had carpet. You see, it still has the shoe molding, and so it was much darker, and it had its share of stains and scratches, but I got them all out, and I go around the edge there. I didn't even have to remove the shoe molding. I got a little vibrator sander for around the edges that you can really get in the corners nice. So this is I think it took me about a week, you know, like 2 or 3 hours a day, like a week to sand that other one. And then to finish it, here I have to show you what this right here, I can tell you it's amazing stuff. And that room I did less than half a gallon. I might have enough to do that whole bedroom there. You give it 3 coats of that. Let it dry in between, and then just lightly sand it. I just go over it quickly with the vibrator between coats, and just put it on with a brush. But this is a bigger room, so I don't know if I'll time to get to try to use a roller, maybe. You see these, this house was built in 1952, and you know, this is obviously the original floor, because I know that in those days, that's about all you got was a hardwood floor, which now it costs you a fortune, but it was kind of standard back then. But you see, I got gaps on the ends of the boards. I had the same thing in the other room. I just put some putty on there, and you can see, you know, it doesn't look too bad. It actually, you know, from just walking by or just looking in here, you never see them. You know, you have to get down close to see them. So that's better than just a gap. So I'm going to start over there in that corner. So I'll get a little video to show you how fast it comes off. I think I have a 80 grit on there now. So I'll start with that. One thing to remember, you need a respirator when you're doing this. The dust will be everywhere. I had to take the door off to get the carpet out, but I put the door back on so I can close it when I'm sanding and help keep it out of the rest of the house. What we do is the initial sanding. That's a good. She put out a lot of dust. This is like 15 minutes work, and I got it. Probably there's a crack in that one. I just sand a little more, but what I did, I wasn't getting anywhere with that wore out 80 grit, so I put a brand new 60 grit on there. She's cutting now, but she's rough. I had to go over it with some 120 or something before I put the finish on it. It makes a lot of dust. You can see the dust in the air there. I think that's what's causing that. But I vacuumed it up, and I took my shop vac and I hooked it to the sander. So I'm going to try that. I didn't have anything on that exhaust port before. There's a bag that's supposed to go on it, but I didn't have that on, so it was just pouring that stuff right on me. Had to go down to the garage and blow myself off. Let me get the see the dust particles. Whew. Get my respirator on.
I'm going to try this with the shop vac, but it's going to be noisy.
This is where I ended yesterday. I think I got the biggest half done. And pretty good on this side. And I just take that chunk out of there, and I'll be 4 foot from 5 foot from the wall probably. I had to slow down a couple places because there's some fairly deep scratches here and there, and so far I've got them. They were all in here, you know. But, it might look a little wavy there if you put some shiny finish, because I had to go down pretty far. But check out this one, and this is a necessity to hook that thing to the sander because it really cuts down on the. I'll show you what this is between. Thing's a mess. Yeah, this is between vacuum up the floor the first time, and so yeah, dusty stuff, dusty job. If you were going to do this in like a living room or something, you'd have to put plastic over any openings, any doorways or archways or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty, it's fairly rough right now because that's 60 grit. Then I'll have to go over it one more time with probably 120, whatever I have. And there's some pretty fine stuff there. That'd be all right. Yeah, go over it with that, get it nice and smooth, and then slap the finish on her. Have to do all this in plastic wood and all those joints, but let me get off here and get to sanding, and I'll be back. Day 3 of the floor sanding project. And I only used one piece of 60 grit. It wore down pretty good, but I finished the job with it. Now I'm going to switch to 120. And this stuff is directional, so it has errors in there that indicates the direction of it. So it needs to go this way. It's a slightly used piece of 120, but I don't know if I have any more. I know I got several pieces of 180, if that's what I need to use. But this is the guy I use for edging. He's a cheap one I bought off Amazon or someplace. Just Velcro. Yeah, these are cheap sanding pad or discs. I don't know what you call them. They don't fit exactly, but they're good enough. I'm going to start off with a 60 grit. See how that works. Day 4 of my attempt to refinish a 73-year-old hardwood floor. What I did yesterday was the edges of this wall and this wall, except for the corner where I have to use a little palm sander, a little vibrator. What I found was I was trying to do the edging with the palm sander, but you know, this molding originally had shoe molding, and apparently this floor had been refinished one other time, and what they did was they sanded right up to the shoe molding, but not under it, of course, and that left a little ledge, you know, a little high place. So it would have taken years for the palm sander to bring this down level with this. So that's when I got in there with the belt sander to do that. I just have to use the palm sander in the corners, but this guy can get in there very close, you know, and then take that ledge out. So I got to do this wall and this wall in the closet for the edges. And then I'll start going over the main floor again with the 120 grit. You can see right here I need some additional sanding. So let me get busy with that. I believe the sanding is just about finished. I got one little spot right there. I'll have to take the door off. It comes off easy. And the rest I've been all around the edge with my little vibrator and in the corners. So here's one thing I have to do is fix this hole. I'm doing the repairs now. I'm gonna go around and put some plastic wood in all the nail holes and stuff, but I have this big old hole here that some genius drilled for a television cable or something. So I found a chunk of hardwood. It's a piece of off of this trim, an extra, and I had the mate to this one, because this was in 2 pieces. I shaped it on my we call it belt sander, and now I got a piece that I put some glue on it, tap it in there, cut it off, and sand it smooth with the floor, match the grain, and it should look okay. I got all the sanding done as far as edging in the corners. I think as good as I can get it. And then I went and put this plastic wood. I used it all. That's doing where the wide end gaps were, and the holes along the wall where the tack strip was that held the carpet in place. I'll get them with the vibrator. That won't take too long, I don't think. And then here in the middle, I got some, what is it? 180 grit. Yeah, that's what I have. Might take a little longer, but it'll do a nice job. But I'm going to hit all these guys with the belt sander. I consider the sanding finished. When you know, I was thinking about doing the nails along the edge with this little guy here, and I said, "What am I doing that for?" So I got the big sander, and I tried it. Put some 120 grit on the big sander, and the little guy does a lot better job because it can get in like little spots. With that one, it has to take the whole floor down, you know, to that level. I just wanted to give her where there's a nail, just a little white spot, you know. So that's where the tack strip was for the carpet. Here's the hole I fixed. That's my peg that I whittled, you know, to go in there. Doesn't match that wood, but if the hole had been in this wood, it would have been a pretty good match. But it's a piece of hardwood that I had. Here's the, I actually took my little Dremel with a little saw blade and cut her down, you know, so I wouldn't have to sand it much. You can't even feel it. So it's good. It's good. Yeah, the sanding's done and applying the finish now. I got about half of it. So far, it took about 15 minutes. Looking for the holidays. But this is only the first coat. There'll be 3 coats. So this is the brush I used on the other room probably 10 months to a year ago. And it's still good. I didn't wash it. I just wrapped it real tight in food wrap, what do you call it? Saran wrap or whatever, and some rubber bands around it. And it's still good. Let me get this first coat on. Here it is after the first coat. And it had a little problem drying. Like over here, there was a huge wet spot after 2 hours, and you're supposed to recoat it after 2 hours, but it wasn't dry. And some places along that wall, that might be, since that's exterior wall, maybe the temperature has something to do with it. But I put this fan here to kind of move the air around in the house, because right now I'm only heating it with the mini split I installed over the summer that's on the farthest wall out in the living room. And the first coat is on, and then I went over it with the palm sander, the vibrator, with 220 grit, and it goes real fast. I mean, you could feel it smooth as it can be, but it felt like very rough before I just one pass over the entire floor, and you just go by feel, you know, the places you've missed. So let me get that second coat on. We'll see how she looks. I'm finished with the second coat now. It's looking better. Pretty much dry, I think. Dries pretty fast. But, third coat was is what really makes it look finished, you know, gives it proper luster and evenness and everything. So that's going to be tomorrow. So this is going to be the last day. All I have left to do is put one final coat. I did 2 coats yesterday, and it says to wait like 2 hours between coats, but I had to wait longer probably because of the temperature. So I didn't want to do the 3rd coat yesterday, and plus I have a place here where somehow I got an accumulation of the finish of the polyurethane, and so it's like a thick place here. I'll have to sand that down. Yep, 3rd coat's on and it's dry. I think it turned out okay. I get the shoe molding on. I have to go buy that. I see Lowe's has this hardwood shoe molding, $7 for 10 feet, I think. I need about $50 or $60 worth. Or no, $30 or $40 worth. I put my closet doors back on. They're pretty cool. They got an old time Stanley system up here for them to ride on. Been working for a lot of years and still works good, but the only thing is, the little guides that go in the bottom are too short now because they were sized for being on top of the carpet. So what I have to do, I think, is these things mounted at each end. You see the brackets up there. I just get a 3/4 inch piece of wood and put it up there and space it down 3/4 of an inch, and it should be okay. That'll be my project for tomorrow. But as far as the floor, it's finished. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. Looks great. Looks a whole lot better than what the way it was. Okay, thanks for watching.